key factors are the relationship between the size of the blade and the length of the paddle, and then what's it made of. Lightweight, we're looking at carbon fibre. However, I find carbon fibre personally quite hard on my joints, so I tend to go for a glass blade, which makes things a little bit gentler. I tend to flex a little bit more. Take time to use it, get a feel of it, go out, practice in a range of conditions just to make sure that you're totally at home with your means of propulsion. Finally, you will not need to carry a spare paddle with you. Not just any old paddle, they should be of equal quality to the ones you're actually paddling with. So just imagine 2 days into a 4-week trip, you break your main paddles and you have to paddle with some second-hand stuff that you bought that you thought you might get away with. Yeah, you've got 3 weeks of paddling to do. So I would say that the splits should be of equal quality to the ones you paddle with normally. How many sets of splits, how many spare paddles do you take with you? On the last trip with the 3 of us, we took 2 sets of spares. Okay, they do get broken from time to time. It would be a shame to upset your trip just because you didn't have the means of propulsion with you. When looking at blades, we really have to think about how we're going to transport them. They're a very, very important piece of kit to you, so you want them to be safe and not damaged. This is a really good system. It's a nice bag, fits inside your check-in luggage, lots of padding, keeps it safe, and it takes a 4-piece system paddle. So literally you can take your shaft and choose which blade you want to paddle with. So maybe a cruising day you can take your wing with you, or more technical days, a nice asymmetric paddle. Okay.
There's quite a lot of discussion about whether you carry your splits on a boat if you're on expedition. Having them in the front, if you've got a big deck bag, might add a bit more clutter, might be really difficult to get them, whereas maybe on the back deck might be more appropriate. And you've got to decide, I suppose, how many sets of splits you carry within a group on a trip. You know, if there's 3 of you, you might just want to carry 1 set of splits just to save that, but again, you know, if you break a paddle, it can be quite critical if you break more than 1 paddle. But to be honest, I've only ever broken 1 paddle in my career, so having your splits in the front allows you to see them and to possibly get them fairly easily if you haven't got too much clutter. Another thing it allows you, especially with a crankshaft, is somewhere to put your paddle. So often if you happen to do a rescue or need your hands free and you've got this paddle in your hand, then just shoving it under one of the cranks, is a convenient way of getting out of the way while you do something. So that's quite a useful part of having it on the front there. The other place that some people have them is on the back. So again, it's out the way, but you can't see them, so they do get washed off. You're not aware of it. A little more difficult to rotate to get to them because that's going to make you a little bit unstable in rougher water if you need them. But probably I think the biggest disadvantage of having them on the back is the fact that your towing system, if you're using it a waist tow, even more so if it's a deck mounted tow, always seems to catch up on the splits on the back deck, and you end up then with the tow not being pulling from the right place, or worse still, that the actual split is then knocked off, hanging off, or you've dropped a split and you aren't possibly aware of it. So like I said, it's entirely up to you, but generally that seems to be the case with having splits on the back deck.